Today, we are talking about true identity, false identity, and what has self acceptance to do with it. Okay, so last week I was having a conversation with a person, and actually several, and we were talking about false identity and true identity. Why? Because have you ever been in a situation in your life that you longed for something a long time? You know, you aimed for it, you worked towards it, and when you ended up in that situation, you know, after a while, you discovered it was not for you. You were not actually that happy as you thought you would be. You were not having that fulfillment as you thought you would have. If that's you, then type 1 in the comments. Okay, so you might be wondering, what are you talking about? Okay, let me give you an example. Perhaps you were truly looking to be in a relationship with someone, and that happened. And after a while, things got different. You ended up not being happy at all with that person, or you wanted to be married, and you had this idea of how married life with this person would be, and then there was no fulfillment as you thought it would be, right? Or you have been working relentlessly, like studying, doing an internship, or doing specific jobs, and you were working on your career. You're very ambitious, and that's what society told you to do. You go from one school to the other in order to receive a lot of money, or to be, you know, receiving a good amount of money. You had to have a degree. So you did that. You finished university or got that degree, whatever that then might be. You started the job, and after a while, you know, you were not receiving any fulfillment. Or it was rather a disappointing situation. If that's, you know, you, then let me know in the comments so other people understand that they are not alone. Okay? Because I have found myself there as well, right? I have found myself there as well. And then the question was, okay, how do you discern between your true identity and your false identity? Because I was pretty sure on those moments that I totally knew myself very, very well. I was pretty straightforward with what I wanted. I was very straightforward of how I would get there. I knew what I needed to be doing, and I also knew, what I wanted to do, or at least that's what I thought. So I found myself in with a general contractor leading big construction sites for millions, and it was a big struggle. I knew I was capable of executing the work that was expected from me, for sure. I knew I was having the insights. I knew I was having the intelligence. I knew I was also having the personal skills, right? Okay, there's something to work on leadership as you develop that on the go, okay? And literally, with all the discussions on money, on quality, on time, on people, on what was actually demanded of the project, you know, we were discussions at the high level as well. Okay, so I found myself in that situation, really forcing it. Okay, it was not aligned with my energy, as I also was not aware that me being a woman in this male society, I didn't have to use the same traits as how men do in order to be successful in life. So that's another part, right, that came to it as I was copying male behavior of I thought I needed to be doing in order to be successful. And by going there, playing with on the same level of energy, I depleted myself totally. And even if that energy would be aligned, then still I was not receiving the fulfillment. Okay? I was not. So this person asked me, okay, how do you discern? So in that moment, I had no clue. I had no clue why I was unhappy. I had no clue why I was forcing. I wasn't even fully aware that there was another solution than forcing as well. I was not aware of so many things. Okay. And what I found myself saying in those moments at some point was, I don't know what to do with myself. If you were to ask me in that moment, what is it that you want? I wasn't able to answer that question at all because I was attached to the title that I was living, and I was attached to this name card that I had, like being responsible for construction sites, project manager or whatever that title is. And I couldn't separate myself from that job function because that has been my aim, like construction and building together and creating. That has been my aim since I was very young. So finding yourself in that situation, I only got to understand in retrospect that I was fully operating on false identity. Why? Because the results were not showing, and because there was, on many topics, a high level of misalignment. And this is why I needed the energy of force and resistance and all of that in order to make it happen. Okay? So, how do you get to true identity? Good question. So, true identity is actually, see it as an onion. You have all the peels on the onion. And when you unpeel all the peels of the onion, you get to the core of the onion. That's actually your true identity. And what are all the peels of the onion? It's you unlearning every bits and pieces of the conditioning. So now you might be wondering, okay, see, what is conditioning? Conditioning. Conditioning is what happens between you from the ages 0 to 7, and whatever that happens to you is, soaked up by your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind till the age of 7 is a sponge. You accept it as being true, no matter what your experiences are. Can be the experiences with your mom and dad, with your caregivers, grandparents, aunties, uncles, at school, your friends, the parents of your friends, uncle, teachers, any person, perhaps a stranger, and you had an experience that you don't know what to do with, right? And all of that allowed you to come up with your perception of the world, your beliefs, your ideas, your views, your habits as well, right? And all of that constituted the small you. And with our immature minds, we draw conclusions of how the world should be on the pillar of health, wealth, relationships, and purpose. That's conditioning. Okay. So, yeah, you form a specific identity of you, of which you think you are, because people tell you, okay, only from the age of 8, you're actually able to reject things, what happened to you, instead of only accept it. And at that moment, the conditioning is pretty much set up. And whatever you experience later on a continuous basis with repetition and with a lot of emotion, just got only deeper stored into the subconscious mind. And this subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of everything that you experience, okay? And yeah, it is responsible for how much money you earn, how you spend your time, your friends, what you do, the jobs you do, what you believe of life to bring to you, how you see yourself in relationships, okay? And that is everything together without you being very conscious about the conditioning. You are in reactive mode. And when you're in reactive mode, there is no true self-reflection. There's no true self-connection. There is no self-acceptance. Self-acceptance, acceptance of you being you, and you understanding that perhaps the things or the situations you find yourself in are not for you. So what do? You struggle your way forward into it. You are fighting, you are resisting, finding a way to solution, and it's just making you sick. It's just making you depressed, unhappy, stressed, a lot of dis-ease and discomfort. Okay? So when that is happening to you, and you feel yourself in that situation right now, you feel like perhaps the friends I'm having are not really, confirming how I see life. Perhaps they're drinking a lot or doing drugs, and you don't actually want to do that, right? So you're forced of showing up in a way that's not really you. Or perhaps at your job as well, you need to be doing things, you're expected to do things, and it's totally misaligned. You receive no fulfillment from it. So when you're in that state, in that situation, understand that most likely, high chances that you're operating from your false self. Okay? So if that's the case, then breathe. Breathe. And come to the understanding like, hey, there is really something else beyond your experience that you have to learn, that you have to become aware of. And once you allow yourself, you accept that there is something else beyond all the struggle on these areas in your life, then you start your journey of self-realization. And this journey of self-realization is connected to your true identity, the unpeeling of the onion, the literally unlearning all the things that are supportive to you or beneficial to you being you on this planet. Okay? So if you happen to hear this video, right, and this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. If you want to hear more about things like that, then let me know in the comments as well. If you say like, Sige, okay, this resonates with me, and I actually have other questions, then let me know. And if I receive more questions like that, I know there's interest for me to, to be speaking to you about exactly that. Okay? So, yes, this is the live of today. And know that this journey is a fabulous journey and you are not alone. Okay? I'm here for you. My name is Sigan Agos. I am a life coach and I help you. I literally help you on a deep basis to connect with your higher self so you understand what that freedom is for you and how you can become your true self. And by doing so, you help the ones you love, How fabulous is that? Talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.